Hi, friends. We've been learning about babies, and this week we've been talking about animal babies that hatch from an egg. I have a story about the life cycle of a frog. And just like human babies, frogs start out small and they grow and they change. They also hatch from an egg. So let's see the life cycle of a frog. Meet the frogs. There are many different kinds of frogs all over the world. Some live in trees, some live in swamps. Frogs are amphibians. This means they spend part of their life in water and part on land. The frog in this book is a common frog. A frog begins life as a tiny egg laid in the water. The egg is part of a clump of eggs called spawn. The spawn is like a big blob of slimy jelly. The black dots inside each egg is a tiny tadpole. Fish and other animals eat some of the eggs. Hundreds of frog eggs keep growing. One day, the tadpoles push their way out of the eggs. They hang on to the spawn until their tails grow longer and stronger. Tadpoles have gills to take in oxygen from the water. Soon the gills will disappear. Water insects and other animals eat many tadpoles, but the other tadpoles nibble tiny plants and grow bigger and stronger. The tadpole begins to change into a frog. The back legs grow first. There are its back legs. Lungs grow inside the tadpole's body. Now the tadpole swims up to the surface of the water to take in oxygen. Front legs grow inside the tadpole's gill pouches. The gill pouches start to bulge. So the gills, where they take in oxygen, start to change into their front legs. Here, look, there's their front legs growing even more. The tadpole still uses her long tail to swim among the plants. She catches water fleas in her wide mouth. The tadpole is almost a froglet. Now she swims by pushing with her long back legs and webbed feet. The tiny froglet now has no tail. She climbs out of the water onto a leaf and looks around. One day, lots of tiny froglets climb out of the pond. The froglet's skin is very thin. She must be careful not to let it dry out. The frog is hungry. She sits very still and waits. Then her long, sticky tongue flicks out and she catches an insect. The frog hears a grass snake slithering towards her. She croaks and dives quickly into the pond. Winter comes and the weather is very cold. The frog looks for a safe hole by the side of the pond. She will stay here and hibernate. Hibernate, friends, means that they'll sleep through the winter. One spring day, she wakes up feeling very hungry. She crawls out of the hole and leaps off to find food. Another year has passed. The frog's body is fat with eggs. It's time for her to lay her eggs. A male frog helps her lay her eggs, and after a while, the eggs leave the female's body. A frog's life is dangerous. Birds, fish, and many animals feed on the eggs, tadpoles, and frogs. Only a few eggs live to become fully grown frogs. Some frogs may live up to 10 years. In the spring, they lay thousands of new eggs in the pond. So the life cycle of a frog. First, their eggs. Then they hatch as tadpoles. Then their back legs start to form. and they become froglets. There's their back legs and their front legs, but they still have the tail. If they still have their tail from being a tadpole, they're a froglet. And before you know it, you have frogs, which lay more eggs. And then the whole process starts all over again. That is the life cycle of a frog.